always the interim budget comes before an election. So there is always this temptation of, Baba, we have to give some freebies, we have to give some things to the people before the budget. There was a time when you could say anything you wanted, but then the election commission came down saying, look, you cannot affect the elections by making these various big changes. So that put a kind of lid on it. Every year the government is supposed to present its accounts and tax proposals for a full year. In this case, it's not possible because elections are coming and nobody knows who will be elected. So in an election year, we have an interim budget which allows the government to keep spending till the end of July. It's just supposed to be a statement of income and expenses. It is not supposed to have tax changes or very major things. Nothing prevents you from saying, I am going to give this allocation, this allocation. Every sector will be given an allocation and you will say, look, what a great person I am. But the major tax changes which we look for on a budget are not supposed to be there. And that is usually the focus of a budget. So this is the big difference. You can make major tax changes, make major announcement in the full budget. Over and above that, always the interim budget comes before an election. So there is always this temptation of, Baba, we have to give some freebies, we have to give some things to the people before the budget. There was a time when you could say anything you wanted, but then the election commission came down saying, look, you cannot affect the elections by making these various big changes. So that put a kind of lid on it. But people have always found ways around it. One way, for instance, has been that you announce a large number of schemes which entail larger bank loans to a particular sector. So there's no tax change. You announce it. You can then just say the allocations I'm making. Over and above that, in a finance bill, you need a finance bill to increase tax rate. But suppose the tax rate is already so high, to give a temporary waiver or some minor change, you can do during the middle of the year. So I remember Mr. Jaswant Singh in 2004 when he was finance minister. In those days, the budget was February 28th. On January 8th, he cut the excise duty on, I think, 15 items of common consumption. So lots of people protested that he's violating the rules of interim budget. He says, no, this is no interim budget. He announced different schemes financed by banks for small-scale industries, for artisans, for various groups. In the 2019 interim budget, Mr. Piyush Goyal increased the standard deduction and a number of small print changes in the direct taxes. Again, people protested, but the election commission went along with it. It didn't come in the way. So it is possible to do this chota-mota chori. The question is, will they do it this time? Mr. Modi is on as solid a ground as any leader can ever hope to be. He has the kind of popularity of Nehru or Indira Gandhi at their peak. This man does not need to look to a couple of budget freebies to get re-elected. Not only that, he is one of the rare prime ministers who has spoken out against freebies. He calls them remedies. So he is actually against this kind of approach. So Mr. Modi does not believe that either communal incidents or remedies win elections. I think he probably believes that raising notions of patriotism help. I think without doubt the exchange with Pakistan and the Balakot bombing would have helped in 2019. But that is not a kind of thing which we are talking about in the interim budget.